And so all of you should have our little Sparkle Bright kit. Now remember, we bring to market new facial club kits all the time with an eye to always creating an at-home experience that you can truly enjoy. But more importantly, with each of these kits, there are some great lessons that come about for your daily routine that all of us should absorb in. So I hope you learn at least one thing today that you can use in your daily routine that you didn't know before. But also what's cool about these kits is that you don't get only enough product for a single use experience. You actually get an opportunity to have enough of the product to use on a daily basis so you can really see the impact and really be able to see how much it will benefit your routine. The most important thing for you to know about why we do facial club kits as an at-home treatment routine is because clinically what we can show is that if somebody truly has a daily routine that involves the steps we'll be doing today, which always is about cleansing, resurfacing, it's about antioxidant nourishment and protection from the environment. If we're doing all of those things in parallel, then we're going to see 33% more line reduction. Who doesn't want that? I do. We're also going to see 28% increase in your moisture. So we have some real clinically proven benefits to investing in a daily routine versus a single step, right? Now that doesn't mean that we can't put multiple steps into a single step, because we do even within this process. But making sure we're hitting each of those areas that are super important to our overall health and well-being. What we'll talk about, the Sparkle Bright kit. This particular kit is super timely simply because we do all want to glow through the holidays, but one of the top trends going into 2022 is never-ending glow, meaning people want that dewy, beautiful glow all the time, not just during the holidays. So there's some good tips in here that will keep you glowing all the time, but also that glow that we get, the healthy appearance of the skin, also means that the immune system's functioning the way it should. And that's a huge win for us when we talk about being healthy, right? So we're going to go through the steps. In this box, you should all have an oiled nutrient for hair, nails, and skin, right, which you'll see here. You should also have an under eye rescue mask, right, that little packet that looks like that. You should have the Tri-Power Peptide Hydrator. We'll talk about that little superpower in a minute. You should also have our Skin Suit Lip, which I love. I can't live without, especially for the holidays. If you guys are like me, it's been so dry everywhere you go that you're gonna wanna live with that. And also the Reviving Eye Brightener that does exactly what it says with reviving your eye, but it's like not only giving your eyes a big tall drink of water and a big hug, but the Reviving Eye Brightener is also all about calming the stress and the things that come about on the surface of the skin during the holidays. So I love that. So those are the things you'll need to do our treatment today, and you will probably want to have a tissue or a little, like I have, a little cotton square, whatever, or you could even have a washcloth if that works better for you. If you're like me, you're probably going to want to put your hair up. I think just to kind of keep it out of the way, I usually use, believe it or not, a pencil or a pen and put my hair up. I'm very high tech in that way, but right now I'm actually using the ribbon off a candy box someone just delivered. I didn't want to eat the candy, so I'm just using the string. Here we go. All right. You probably see a resounding theme. I always say, don't give me the tower treats and don't give me the box of candy, because I will just re-gift it all the way around. Not because I don't love you, but because this youthful figure doesn't keep itself. Mama's got to have some maintenance going on with it. So there we go. Okay, so hair pulled back, fresh skin, right? The first step, and by the way, if you want to follow along, on the back of your box are the instruction set. Every kit has those. So if you're listening but you forget, you can follow along, right? Okay, so first step is the oiled nutrient for hair, nails, and skin. We'll talk about why it does so much for so many parts of your body. But in this case, we're going to use this as our cleanser. Okay, hold on. If you have oily skin, I know you're going, what? I can't put oil on my skin, I'm gonna break out. Well, that is a big fallacy, although there are certain oils that can definitely cause you to have a reaction because there are things that clog the skin or comedogenic. This is non-comedogenic, right? So you're gonna put about, this particular dispenser dispenses plenty. So this is a new one, so I'm just pumping it a couple of times to prime the pump. You'll see that once it gets going, you just only need about 1 pump and then you can get going, right? Okay, there we go. It took me a little bit longer to get that 1 pump. But if you notice, I have just about a dime size. We're gonna put that all over. I don't have, I only have skin suit on, but if you do have foundation on and you have a lot of makeup, especially around your eye area, then you can put a couple of pumps on and massage it in. You're not going to want to wash this off. What makes a great oil cleanser? Well, first of all, this is an avocado base. The reason that I love, and we always formulate with our oil bases with avocado, is because even though I love to cook with coconut oil, avocado oil is a much smaller molecule. So it's not going to clog the pores the way coconut oil does. The other part is that avocado oil has a lot more fatty acid than coconut oil. So fatty acids are what comprise 98% of the exterior of a skin cell. So we always want to be replenishing that. Do you guys smell the smells that are in this oil? Oh my gosh, it is one of my favorites. What you're gonna find is not only do we have amazing spices, yes, I said spices because spice have benefit to the skin, along with other oils and beautiful Ayurvedic touches to this product. So I love that you get the hydration, but you also get the olfactory, that's what it's called, is when you smell things that have certain effect to calm you. So the beauty of the oil nutrient is that not only does it smell good and feel great on your skin, but it's also going to relax you as you're using it. You can even do a little inhalation therapy. You kind of just breathe in from your hands, breathe out, and it's just a great way to feel better. But what it's doing is oil attracts oil. So what's beautiful about doing an oil cleanse, especially in winter months where you're running heat, or you might be, out in the desert where it's hot during the day and cold at night, what you'll find is that your skin tends to really feel a little bit more dehydrated, collect a lot more debris. So what's going to happen with this oil is it will attract oil, but it won't dry the skin out. So this time of year, it's great to either use the oil nutrient as your cleansing step, or what I love to do is mix the oil nutrient with our daily cleanser, and it gives you that nice hydration. If you're like me, the oil kind of absorbs into my skin, but if not, you can just do a little pat to get any makeup or anything off the surface of your skin. So you just basically wipe that off, but no rinsing, because we want to leave some of that oil on the surface. So you'll just remove whatever makeup or anything you might have. And once you kind of feel that you have most of that off your skin, you look and you see that your cloth is pretty clean, then you can put that away for a minute. What you're going to see is the next step. And remember, if your hands are a little oily, you might want to wipe them a little bit, because our under eye rescue masks are very well sealed. So sometimes they're hard to grab off, but what you'll see is we'll peel that just like you would a contact case. You want to open that up to reveal your 2 eye pads that are inside, right? So they're going to be 2 little eye patches that'll be translucent inside. These are so great for so many reasons, but any of you who have ever liked our Dramatic Eye Lift, our Dramatic Eye Lift is comprised of growth factors. Growth factors are matrix proteins. What you'll see is, I always say, these under eye rescue masks are sort of training wheels for Dramatic Eye Lift, because what you'll see is that these have some beautiful amino acids, which are the base of peptides and strands of amino acids make up proteins. They're super translucent, but yet they're biodegradable, so they are very porous in that they'll actually go on really sheer. You notice we're rubbing them on, and they feel so cooling, don't they? Do you guys feel how cooling they feel on your skin? So what I like about these is not only is the web kind of infrastructure of this mask, the sheet mask, going to be infusing the hyaluronic acid, the amino acids of this mask, but they're also, and there's fruit extract in here, little fruit acids to brighten this area. But if you notice, they're very translucent. It just looks like I almost have contour or highlight under my eye. So basically right now, these are gonna be working in. You don't need to keep rubbing them in once they're there. We're just gonna let the goodness. Amino acids are building blocks, proteins are building blocks of the proteins. So for example, we always talk about collagen, right? People talk about hyaluronic acid and collagen. Well, your body will produce a ton of it, but collagen is a protein. In fact, it's the most abundant protein in our body, not just in our skin, but in our whole body. Collagen's present in our teeth, it's present in our muscle tissue, so it's present almost everywhere in our body. But it's essential to sort of keeping the infrastructure of our body, the firmness. So what you'll see with these amino acids that are in these little under eye rescue, along with the hyaluronic acid, which is going to create moisture, kind of plump up the dry cells around the eye, going to give you more volume, and then you're going to see the amino acids will sort of go in and help with building that infrastructure that's necessary for collagen to be formed. And then you'll also see the fruit acids are going to give that brightness. So if you have little dark circles or you look a little tired under the eye, it's going to be the perfect recipe for all of that. So now the under eye rescue masks are working. We're going to let those work for about another 3 or 4 minutes because I've talked 3 minutes that we've had them on. So it goes by pretty quickly, right? So the next step is we're going to, while this is sort of working, we're going to once again put a little oil nutrient. So we'll take the oil nutrient again and we'll put a little pump in our hand, and then we're going to mix the oil nutrient with the Tri-Power Peptide Hydrator. So you can put, I like to extend everything down to my neck and hands. So you'll notice there's a little seal, the little protective seal that's always on your Tri-Power Peptide Hydrator, so you know it hasn't been opened before. You're just going to remove that little seal, your little security seal from there, and then you'll just do a little pump of the Tri-Power, and you'll mix it with the oil nutrient, and then you can distribute that around your face, kind of avoiding the eye mask, obviously, because those are hydrating that area already. My hands are so slippery. Okay, there we go. I feel like we did a video once, remember Katie, where somebody squirted out like a whole half of a daily cleanser. That's what I feel like I just did. So you'll see I rubbed those two together, and I'm just gonna hydrate all the skin around. Oh my gosh, this feels so good. You can kind of go over the edges of your mask if you're under eye rescue. But I love giving my neck a little hydration. Our hands, right? All right. So what we're doing really while we're masking, just so you know, let's talk about what we just did. So we've got 3 different forms of peptides inside this Tri-Power Peptide Hydrator. Peptides are very firming in general, but not all peptides are created equal. And I know we talk about this quite a bit, but when we build up the amino acid chains and the strength of our cells, our skin cells, we want to have strengthening peptides. So a peptide, I always give a vision of a rope. If you only had one little cord coming down, like you do the type of rope that you tie up a Christmas present with, where it's really thin and fragile, you wouldn't swing from a tree with that, right? If you don't think it's strong enough to sort of hold you. When you think about a rope that holds up a tire swing, it's super thick and chunky, right? So when we think of peptides, we don't want the little twig, the little tiny vine. We want that super big, chunky, strong rope that is created of lots of twines coming together, right? So think of that, because Tri-Power Peptide is that big, huge rope that's made up of a ton of twines coming together to make it super strong. versus the little peep squeak little twine over here. That is the drugstore peptide that you buy most of the time. The reason I say that is, think about when you took, any of your geometry classes and you talked about using Greek, letters, or Latin, where you would say, a mono is one, a duo is twice, right? So, or di. When you think about that, most time you'll see a monopeptide, dipeptide, tripeptide. Remember, this is tripower peptide, not tripeptide. But that means 1, 2, 3 strands. When you start talking about the peptides that are in the tripower peptide hydrator, we're talking about 28 strands all pulled together. So think about the difference of a rope made of 28 strands versus 1, 2, or 3. And that's real. And we don't stop there. We have a 9 and an 8 and a 7. We bring these all together and we intertwine to make this super strong structure. So you kind of get what you pay for many times with these peptide hydrators. We just go, oh, peptides are good for you. And we leave it at that. And we don't bother to say, well, really, it's only these higher class of peptides where you have 32, 10, 24 strands that come together that are really, really strengthening to the skin. So always make sure that you look for that, and you can see those on our tripower peptide hydrator, and we infuse that in antioxidants. So what we're doing with this step is we're putting together the antioxidant protection and the hydration of the oils that will help our moisture barrier stay intact, which allows us to prevent bad things from coming into the skin, but also to make sure that the environment doesn't evaporate off the moisture on our surface. We kind of want to bake that down inside. And then we're also strengthening the structure in this one hydrating step. So I love that we're strengthening, we're protecting, and we're replenishing, while our masks are also doing the same thing around our under eye area. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be applying, and we want to protect our lips in just the way that we hydrated our face, and then we replenish the moisture barrier. Skin Suit Lip is a waterless. Yes, I said that, even though, wow, it's so hydrating, right? But I want to apply Skin Suit Lip to my lip. I want to seal in moisture into this very thin, fragile mucous membrane that's called our lips. Lips don't have any venous structure underneath them. In other words, there's no musculature to our lips, so unlike the rest of our face. So we don't have sebaceous glands, which means we don't have the things that put the moisture up to our skin. Those don't come through our lips. So our lips don't have a moisture supply like the rest of our face. That's why we often feel so dry around the lip area. So what we're doing is we're hydrating. We're putting B3, which is also called niacinamide, niacinamide. They can be pronounced both ways. But what we're doing is we're putting that beautiful hydrating antioxidant back into the skin to kind of plump, fill, euthanize it in at the same time. We're using Skin Suit technology, which protects you from blue light, UVA, UVB, heat, and pollution. So all of those things are going into this beautiful single step lip. So we're replenishing the moisture barrier, we're revitalizing the antioxidant levels within the skin, and then we're protecting from the environment in one foul swoop, which I love. So what we can do now is you can remove these masks, but a little trick, mine are still super hydrated. So this is something that can be put on your upper lid. So if you have moisture left and you want to, you can do your upper eyelid. It's very nice to do that. The other thing that I have seen people do, which is kind of interesting too, is that they'll also use this a little bit around, because I guess I never thought about it, but it goes behind the ears. So you can actually take that area. I don't know, some people say they get really dry behind their ears. So if you do, you can put it there as well, which is kind of fun for everybody. Then the last little step we're gonna do, and you guys should feel, do you feel super hydrated? All you wanna do is pat in the goodness from the eye area. And you can just smooth that down into the rest of your face as well. Ah, nice, feels good. Feels really good. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to do is to really fortify, because we just put all this beautiful richness. And look, you guys, I mean, I'm a lot older than most of you on this. Like when you look at how it just plumps and fills that under eye area. Look at how nice that looks. So I've got no makeup on right now, no concealer on, and you look at all of that, just this glow, right? That's amazing when you look at the glow that your skin has just from those steps. So our Reviving Eye Brightener, what you're gonna see is, yeah, soft and dewy ash, I agree. So the Reviving Eye Brightener has a little roller ball. You'll see that. You know, you wouldn't put a little BB in your mouth and get it out by going. If you did, it's gonna spit out, right? So don't think about this as squeezing the little ball out. What this ball is meant to do, and by the way, this will save you a ton of product. The beautiful thing about this is not only is it cooling, but the way the product will come out is just rolling it. You just roll it enough to where the product gets on the roller ball. And it gets on the roller ball by you rolling it. Now it's gonna feel dry when you first do it, but right now I can feel the moisture coming on the ball now that it's been rolling around. And this can go on your upper, see what I'm doing, the upper and lower eyelid. You can put a little pressure if you want just to push product down on it, but you don't want to squeeze this because the activation comes in rolling the ball around. Because when you roll it around, it's going to automatically start distributing the product onto your skin, all right? And the reason I like this is if you have little circles around your eyes. So one, let's talk about the product first and then the little roller ball. The nice thing about the product is there are very few things that actually can be clinically shown to make a real difference in the under eye area. The under eye area is very difficult to treat because it doesn't absorb a lot of things because it wants to protect the eye, right? And then the other part is that the under eye area is also a little bit more sensitive to the things that we put. So vitamin K is one of the only things that's been shown clinically to make a difference in tightening the area around the eye, but in concentrations of 2% or higher. So this has a 2% vitamin K. It also has beautiful things like caffeine and green tea and great antioxidants like that around this eye area that help to restore that fragile eye area and hydrators. So I love that it's gonna hydrate, but also if you have puffiness under the eye, by moving that fluid, that's what that puffiness is fluid. That's why you'll see it when you drink. Like if you drink wine and stuff like that, you'll get what's called the wine under eye half moon, which becomes those little half moons that you get with a lot of fluid under the eye. So you want to kind of move it. I know it sounds like I'm an expert. I hate to say it, but I kind of am. You move that fluid towards your tear duct, right? And it's going to kind of move that fluid up and out, and it will help reduce that puffiness under your eye, and you'll be super hydrated. And remember, you can use this above the eye, around your brow bone, and you can use it over the brow bone. So it's great for hydrating that area as well, right? The other little secret for Reviving Eye Brightener is you can use it around the base of your lip too, which is kind of nice. I like her just hydrating around that area, so it's kind of nice too. So when you do that, the reason that little roller ball, you want to keep it in there is by doing that, you're just only getting the amount of product that's needed on your skin. You don't waste it in any other way. It does, and it also keeps it clean because you're not putting your finger in and out of it on a regular basis. You're just rolling it on clean skin, right? So it's super nice. So when we look at it, look at your skin. I want you to feel the glow, the sparkle. Do you feel like you sparkle? Because you do. Because I'm looking at all of you right now, and you guys are super shiny, right? So, so any questions for me on the technology? The last thing is of these, the important steps to do every day. I mean, obviously cleansing is super important to do every day, and you want to make sure you're doing that. This oil nutrient, what I love about it is don't stop at cleansing. One of the things you'll see is I do natural nail. I don't know about you guys, but whether you do a natural nail or not, this also has a little vitamin D, which helps with keeping your nails super long, super healthy if you have ridges in your nails. But just taking your cuticles, it's like a beautiful cuticle oil, but also the biggest things for ridges. And by putting this back into the nail, you'll really see. And if you take your eye makeup off with it, you'll even see, we get a lot of people that talk about their lashes are a lot fuller with it. And that there's no surprise because even plant-based vitamin D helps with the growth of your lashes. So it's great that way. What you'll also see is hair. So I tend to get really dry scalp in the winter. I don't know about you guys, but you can take a little tiny bit and you can massage it into those dry scalp areas. And it's so light that it won't weight your hair down, but you can also use it for those flyaways and run it through the ends of your hair. So I love that you can make it a great hand treatment, a great hair treatment, a great scalp treatment, take your makeup off, do a beautiful moisturizing cleanse. So it's beautiful in all of those ways, right? So it's by far when you travel, it's probably one of the most versatile things because you can throw this in your bag and do cleansing, moisturizing, all that. So if you're light on space, throw this in and it does a lot. The other thing is you can do contouring with it. Just putting it here, meaning highlighting, you can just do it here and here, and it just brings out it's like where you would use an illuminator basically along those areas. The other thing you want to do every day is try Power Peptide Hydrator. In our kits, we always put this as our moisturizing step because it's so firming. So I love that you're hydrating and firming in one. So it's definitely, these are things that should always be your staple. Lip protection and hydration and moisture barrier replenishment should be just something everyone does. I don't care if you do zero routine with this. You should always make sure protecting your skin, even if you do nothing else. Skin, suit, face, and lip are like the two most important things you can do. And then last but not least, reviving eye brightener is just a great way. And these stocking stuffers, these under eye rescue masks right now for the holidays, they're so inexpensive and they're just great to throw in for a little stocking stuffer. So, you know, reward someone with skin, suit, lip, or an under eye rescue in their stocking, and they're going to love you for life because it's just one of those things that'll be easy to throw in your purse and life changing. So thanks for tuning in and sparkling bright with us. See you next time.